the Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by the Green Deco, making your garden beautiful.
Hello and welcome back to the Potty Plotters Plotcast podcast. This is episode 30 and we've had to come inside, haven't we, Elaine?
We have, because it's still chucking it down out there and it is still summer.
It is.
I just thought I'd remind everybody it is summer. I've actually put my top on as well. Not that I hadn't got a top on, but I put another top on.
Extra top.
I'll have, yes.
Thermal top, because it's August. And not only is it August, it's National Allotments Week. But before we go to that, I'm Julia still, and you're Elaine, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've got some social media you can get hold of us on.
You certainly have, and I certainly will look at them if people will get in touch with us. We are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Potty Plotters.
We've got a TikTok account at The Potty Plotters.
Email us, naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
Or check out our website, pottyplotters.uk.
Contact the Potty Plotters anytime on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Potty Plotters, or email naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
So, as I said, National Allotments Week.
Oh, well, did we get that trumpet voluntary thing?
No, we still didn't get that.
Okay.
But to us, it's like Christmas week, isn't it?
Well, it's more like London Fashion Week.
Was it?
I think so, yeah.
Well, it's changed
Julia, no, you'll be fine. But it is a very exciting time, isn't it? And it's the time that a lot of people get in touch. It's the time where I think that we can, I was going to say blow our own trumpets, but generally speaking, that's when people parade up and down with all the veg that they've been growing, their fruit and their flowers, and we talk about it all the time. Well, we anyway.
Yeah, it's the height of the season. A lot of allotment sites open up to show what they're doing and to show off. And, you know, it's our community. It's where we live, really, isn't it? And it's something that we love. And in this podcast, we've been speaking to people about why they've got an allotment.
And it's been fascinating as to why some people have got an allotment. Looking round at some, I wonder why they've got an allotment, but that's another story altogether. But we've also been talking to Bethany Leake from Sheffield University, and she's eager to find out why people eat the way that they do with the stuff that they grow on their allotments. And she's going to be doing some research over the next year about that. So I'm fascinated, and she will be when she sees what I eat. It's a lot.
I don't think there's enough room on that form to fill in, is there, for what you eat? And finally, we've also got an interview with Ed Morrison, who is one of the founders of the Roots Allotments, which are kind of growing in the Bath area. They've got a site in Bath and it's growing in that area. And it really ties in well with National Allotments Week and the theme this year, which is all about soil health, because Ed's allotment sites are all no dig, Elaine.
Which I've never heard of before. I mean, I know about no dig, but I've never heard that about a whole allotment site.
No.
So I'm fascinated as to what he's going to tell us about that.
Yes.
Okay then. Right, in betweeny, we have had people contact us, Julia.
It's exciting.
I know, it's quite ridiculous. But first of all, let's hear about Deb. Didn't Deb contact us from Nottingham?
Yeah, Deb, she says, "Hi there, I'm Deb and have an allotment in Woolerton. To cut a long story short, I could do with some guidance on how to use it and use it to its full potential."
It's a not uncommon question. We get lots of people who first come up here. I can think of 2 this week, actually. And they're very excited and want to start growing straight away. And what I would say to you, Deb, is look at the whole plot, measure it, and then I would draw it and start planning. And my best advice, I think, is don't do what everybody else does. Think about what you want to do. What's going to work with your lifestyle? If you want to put raised beds in, put raised beds in. That does not mean a plank of wood literally on the soil. Fill them up to the top, and then you'll probably get things a lot faster than if you leave them in the floor. Are you going to put fruit bushes in? Are you actually going to put any flowers in? Where are you going to put them? What about access? What about paths? What about a shed? What about a greenhouse? And so it goes on. But plan it.
I'll just break into you there, Elaine, and say, for anybody on an allotment site, all sites have got different rules. Yeah. So our site is quite flexible, and obviously, historically, people have been allowed to build some very big buildings. But some sites don't even allow a shed, allow a greenhouse. Some sites are very anti-flowers, anti-raised beds. So just check the rules before you start doing anything. Have a wander around the site as well. It's always a good thing to have a wander around and look at other people's plots to see what they're doing. And if you like what they're doing, stop and ask them why they've done it like that. There may be a good reason for doing why they've done certain things like they do. And as we always say, just because you've taken on a plot doesn't mean you have to take on everything that's there. You wouldn't buy a new house and just live in it as it is. You normally want to decorate it and put your own style on it. So that's what we suggest.
Definitely. Let us know how you go on, Deb. Just thought I'd add that bit in, Julia. Okay, and the next person, Julia, who's been in touch?
Well, it's Trudy James on Messenger. On Messenger?
From what? It's not a place, it's a thing, Julia. Yeah, she's actually from Derby.
Oh, is it one of them IT things, a messenger? Oh, okay. Okay. I think I have lost the gooseberry, blackcurrant and raspberry bushes due to the climate. Any suggestions?
Well, it depends what damage you've got. That's what I would say, because my bushes have done really well this year, and that's because I mucked around them. I put loads of muck all the way around them. Back end, and then they've done really well again this year. So that's what I tend to do. But what I would do is look at whether or not they're too dry. When you say climate, I'm wondering if they are actually dry. And maybe what I would do is look at where it is that you've put them, because they do like a shaded area, and mine definitely are doing well in a shaded area. So if it is that, if you snap one of the little twigs off and see if there's any green inside, that'll show you that they're still alive. But if not, why not invest in some new ones? That's what I would say. And perhaps start all over again. But think about, again, where you're going to put them.
Yeah, it is important location, isn't it? Yeah. And they don't like to be too exposed. So if it's a windy area, perhaps move them somewhere. They like the sunshine as well. So it's all about, and also adding nutrients into the soil before you plant them.
Definitely. And don't forget, birds love the gooseberries and they love the raspberries and red currants as well. So is it that's actually causing the problem? Do you need to net them? Think about it. But if you have any more problems, contact us.
Okay. And finally, we're going a bit further afield now. We've had a contact from Peter Marfleet from Windsor.
Windsor. I've been to Windsor. Stories to tell you, but it'll take too long.
You've been everywhere, you have. Yeah,
I know, but I have been to Windsor and I've got some memories from there. So beautiful place.
You went to see the Queen?
Actually, no. I went to see what's her name now? Then the Duchess of Harry's wife, Meghan. Yeah. No, I didn't see her. I went to see her dress, her wedding dress. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Always tiny. It was very lovely. But anyway, yeah. So what? What does Peter want?
So Peter says, "Hi, ladies. Firstly, love your podcast."
He listens, doesn't he? Yeah, well done.
Been into growing and gardening since injuring my ankle. We're not laughing at your injury.
It's the way that Julia read it.
And now I'm obsessed. But could you help with two problems? Firstly, one of my best tomato plants snapped in the recent winds and is hanging on by a tiny part of the stem. Is there a way I can save them? Also, I'm sending you a picture of black fly that is absolutely smothering my courgette plant. What can I do about it? Thanks again, and keep up the good work.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Thanks, Peter. Well, let's go first of all to the tomato.
Yeah.
What would you suggest, Queen of Tomatoes?
What I would suggest is if it's only hanging on by a small part on the stem, it's probably past it, really. Yeah. And if you try and patch it together, you're only going to be introducing diseases and other problems. The chances of it getting going are quite small. It may reshoot from the stem, and that's probably your best bet of getting any tomatoes off that. Otherwise, you could take a side shoot off any of the bit that you've still got growing and maybe try and start another plant.
The other thing is, Julia, using that old phrase that we use all the time, There's always next year. And we've learned, and Peter's learned from doing it the way that he has. So next time, better support for the weight of the tomatoes that you've got.
Absolutely. Now, the other question that he sent about the courgettes, and he sent a photo, I did look at the photo, and one thing I noticed straight away was he'd covered his courgettes with Enviromesh.
Okay, don't take it off. The pollinators can't get through that.
No.
So what I would do is open that right up to the elements and make sure that the pollinators can get in and get to the flowers, because otherwise we won't have any fruit.
Yeah, first of all, he'd have no fruit because of the pollinators. And also, there's nothing to eat, your black fly. So the ladybirds can't get in and chomp their way through them. So again, courgettes do not need any netting. We've not really seen much of a problem with courgettes, have we?
No, not this year for a change. That's because it's so damp.
Yeah.
Did I say that it was raining? Yes.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by the Green Deco.
And now we're going to talk to Bethany Leake, and Bethany is doing a research study while she's working at Sheffield University.
The impact of food growing on the diet of allotment growers. So we're hoping the study will kind of assess how diet, particularly fruit and vegetable intake, vary seasonally, and the impact of this on the nutrition of allotment growers. So kind of, is what you're growing having a big impact on your health? So growers who sign up will be asked to fill out an online food diary of what they're eating and drinking for 3 days every month for 12 months. And the study is open to allotment holders across England, and registration will close at the end of the year, so the end of 2023. And we're really hoping the study will help to provide some more evidence of the dietary benefits of urban horticulture and the potential of this kind of the practice of using allotments to be kind of used to improve public health across the board.
So, Bethany, what's the purpose of the research? Is it to get more allotments? Is it for people? Is it for the government to say that everybody should have an allotment and grow their own vegetables?
Yeah, I think it's particularly to kind of identify the specific benefits. So I'm looking at health benefits, but also obviously there's lots of research going on in environmental benefits as well. But this study particularly wants to see, does having an allotment have a big impact on your diet? Are you able to have a kind of more varied diet in terms of fruit and vegetable intake? And then does that kind of translate nutritionally? And if so, would it be kind of beneficial for more allotments to be available for people? And should we maybe be promoting people to do smaller scale gardening as well, if that could have a little bit of an impact on your health as well? So yes, I guess it's kind of more evidence for more allotments, hopefully.
And the thing is, it isn't such an arduous task, because it's not like we've got to do it every day. We're just doing it for 3 days a week. Is that right?
3 days every month for 12 months.
Oh.
So it's not even every week.
That's brilliant. I've just had a thought, Elaine.
Good Lord.
I think I think we might need to leave the days off where we have cake, because I have to say, Bethany, although we do eat very well and very healthily, we do eat a lot of cake and drink a lot of tea and eat biscuits down here. So I think we need to avoid those days so that you get a really healthy picture of us.
I think everyone eats cake. That's totally fine. Any day of what you're eating.
And how many people do you need for this study to be a real thing?
Yeah, so we're looking for about 100 to 200 people across England, but as many as we can get, really. I don't think we'll be unhappy to have more, just as many people as happy kind of to take part. It would be great to have it as representative as possible, different types of people as possible as well, to get a really big range of what people's diets are looking like from different communities across the country.
So how do people get in touch with you to get involved in this? Because I think it's really exciting. And I write as much as I talk, so you'll have a lot of paperwork coming through from me about what I eat. But how do people contact you?
Yeah, so you can get in touch with us to find more information, or if you want to participate in the study, by contacting us by email. So we're at urbanharvest@sheffield.ac.uk. We're also on Twitter, which is @urbanharvest_UK.
So don't forget, if you want to get in touch with Bethany and get involved in her research, contact her by emailing urbanharvest@sheffield.ac.uk.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters.
It's National Allotment Week, and we've been out talking to people about why you have an allotment.
My name's Stacey. We've just got an allotment, so it's our first day today. I got it with my husband. We got it due to obviously wanting to grow our own produce, and my father-in-law passed away last year, so he put us down for an allotment, and I just feel like it's somewhere to come where we can just, for our mental health, just have a break and just enjoy it.
Hello, my name's Aidan, and I've got an allotment just to be outside for a couple of hours every single weekend. It's brilliant. Usually it's like an 8-hour shift, Saturday and Sunday, but we do have lovely lunches because of it and lovely dinners, and with the veg we grow, and also we're hungry, so we go off and get nice lunches and dinners.
Hi, my name's Kath. I've got an allotment with my husband. He does flowers, I do veg. It gets us out because we live in an apartment. It's kept us going all through COVID. This is my 4th year, I think, this year, and I love it.
My name's Ralph. I've got an allotment because I like the reason to be outdoors, and it's good exercise, and I'd rather do that than be in a gym, I think. And there is the bonus that you get nice things to eat and nice people to chat to.
We'll hear more stories later about why you've got an allotment. This episode of the Plotcast is being brought to you by the Green Deco, suppliers of plants and shrubs to the trade and public at unbelievable prices. Find them by searching online for the Green Deco, GREENDECO. And they're also linked from our social media. Have a look and see what they've got. We have. So let's hear more of your stories about why you've got an allotment.
Hi, I'm Layla, and I have an allotment with my husband, George. One of the reasons that I got an allotment with George was to make sure that we spent some more time outside in the fresh air. We both work long hours, and we wanted to get outside, get our hands dirty, get in the elements, and reconnect with nature.
Hello, I'm Helen from Plot 9 at the allotment. I met Aidan, and he convinced me that coming to his allotment every weekend was a great idea. So that's why I come to the allotment. However, I love it that the fact that in November we get a little bag of seeds, and then by June and July we've got a whole 30-foot allotment full of produce and flowers and beautiful things to eat.
My name's Stuart, and I've got an allotment because I do like getting stuck into hard work, and it is hard work when you first start. It gets easier as you go along. Also, it's organic food, and it obviously tastes a lot better than the stuff you buy in the shops.
Hi, my name's Eric.
Morning, my name's Jackie.
And we have an allotment because A, we like to keep fit, we like to have something to do, we enjoy the outdoors, and we're running out of things to do at home.
Yeah, it's true really. Well, we thought we had time for an allotment, and we have really. It's just once we get down here we don't want to leave.
Yeah, it's nice being down here, and it's only when you get down here you realise we have still got things to do at home, we need to get back and do these things. But yeah, we still enjoy it, and we still enjoy being outside.
Hello, my name's George, and I got an allotment with my wife Layla. One of the realities that set in earlier on was just how much work there is to do. The rewards are there, but you do have to put the work in.
The Potty Plotters Plotcast, with simple recipes for gluts and guts.
Right, today, Julia, National Allotments Week. Let's go out with a bang. And I'll tell you what, if you do this right, you probably will, but not until Christmas. So I'm just going to tell you all about pickled shallots. I've actually grown the shallots, I've dried the shallots, and I tell you what, they are ready now to be pickled. How do you do it? Well, the reason I'm going to tell you this one is simply because a lady quite recently, when we went out and about, asked me whether or not we salt our shallots. Now, that's a thing that people do overnight, i.e. they take all the skin off the shallots and then they put them into salted water, and then what happens is they leave them overnight and you pickle them the next day having washed off all the salt. Shortcut now. I know you're going to be amazed, but by crikey, this actually works. I do what my mum did. All that she ever did was take all the skins off, put them into a bowl, wash them, and then put them into vinegar. No need to bother with the salt. Put the lid on, put them in the storage until Christmas. That's when you can use them.
Reminds me of when I was a kid with my grandma. She used to do them and used to eat them, and then it made your eyes water.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by the Green Deco.
It's National Allotments Week, and this week we've decided to do something a little bit special and speak to someone who's set up an allotment that's a little bit different. So,
well, is it not an allotment then? Is it something different, totally different?
No, it's an allotment, but it's a different style of allotmenting. So I'm going to introduce Ed Morrison, and he's set up with a group of friends the Roots Allotments in Bath. Ed, hello. Tell us all about it. Hello.
I love that you say Bath. Just want to say that. I also say Bath. I was raised by northern grandparents. So just hearing Bath is a breath of fresh air because I'm surrounded by baths.
Oh, that's good. Tell you what we also say, which people like. We say a lot of muck.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I set up an allotment site with two of my best mates about 2 growing seasons ago, and it is just going absolutely balmy. Like you said, we've done something a bit different. When people come to our allotment site, they don't tend to be faced by 6-foot-high weeds and 30 to 50 hours worth of work to turn it into something that they can use. They can literally get going straight away. I give them a big pack of organic seeds, give them some plug plants, give them some chipped potatoes, and then on their welcome slot, I teach people how to plant. I show them spacings. I basically give them a quick 101 there and then on the spot. So if you're a total newbie, you're not coming into it blind, and you have a bit of confidence with the growing, because I just believe that the more people who can grow vegetables, the better and happier our society will be.
Well, we agree on that, but I'm just going to rewind right the way back to one of your first sentences there.
Go on then.
And that is, you were talking about when people first arrive, they're not confronted with 6-foot-high weeds. So
yes.
What are they confronted with then, Ed? What is it that you give them?
They get a no-dig patch, which has got 4 to 6 inches of compost put on top of it. And it should be totally weed-free because we have a patch manager who looks after all of the allotment site. And then when they just come down, they can have a fantastic experience instead of going, oh my gosh, how do I deal with that? Like, the instant reaction isn't stress straight away, which we all know gardening should not be a stressful experience. It should be an enjoyable, fun, a sort of elevating experience where you can heal yourself and eat fantastic produce out the other end.
So one of the things you mentioned there is it's completely no dig, and the whole site is no dig, isn't it? Can you just tell the listeners what no dig is all about?
Yeah, so no dig is the concept of not disrupting the soil, because within the soil we have these microorganisms that process the minerals and the nutrients into a state which is more bioavailable for plants to absorb. So with no dig, you put a layer of cardboard on the ground, then you put 4 inches to 12 inches of compost on top of that cardboard. The cardboard breaks down, the worms and microbes come up and work your bed for you. There's an amazing guy called Charles Dowding. He's been sort of pioneering this technique for the last 40 years. And he was my inspiration to get into no dig during lockdown. And when we were speaking about launching an allotment site, we just thought, well, why don't we just make it 100% no dig? And it actually turns out that it is the world's first 100% no dig allotment site. So it's a really lovely feeling being able to spread the sort of change that needs to happen in industrial agriculture on a micro level and educate people how we can change our ways and grow in a more nature friendly way, where we're not sort of disrupting and extracting from the soil. We're actually building its health up over time, which leads to higher yields, less watering, less weeding. It is a win-win. It's a total win-win. And Charles has been doing a 15-year comparison of dig versus no dig down at his home acres, and he's got about a 10 to 15% higher yield. So the science is starting to speak out on it, and it's just like, why would you want to spend all your time doing all the digging and the back-breaking stuff when you can spend more time doing the creative side of gardening, which is enjoying sowing, planning out your patch, designing it, raising plug plants? It's like all of those things are, for me, are the most enjoyable parts and the most healing parts of gardening. And I really don't like digging lots. Like my back is not great after spending 7 years behind laptops in London. Like I absolutely love being outside, but I don't want to do the digging.
No. So, and you mentioned Charles Dowding, and I noticed there is a connection. He's obviously got quite involved in the site, hasn't he? What's his involvement with the Roots Allotments?
Just before lockdown, I went to a community growing meeting in Lyme Regis, which is where I was brought up. And Charles was there doing a talk, and I didn't stop taking notes on my phone because everything that he said just made so much sense. And I went up to him afterwards and I said, "Oh, you've just inspired me to try vegetable growing, do something that I've never really done before. And I want to do the no dig. I want to take on an acre and set up a market garden." And Charles was just like, "Yeah, good luck setting up an acre market garden if you never really done it before." I didn't end up growing on an acre. I actually managed to persuade my nan to give me 60 square meters of her back garden, and that's what I got going on. So, you've got your dreams and then you've got your realities, and Nan kept that in check. But I'm quite glad that she did, because I wouldn't know. I totally get what Charles is saying. I would have been overwhelmed with an acre and learning all the new techniques. It would have been a disaster. But I've had such a fantastic, sort of time growing over that lockdown period and sort of discovering something that I was totally passionate about. And I came back to London, and when I was with my friends Will and Christian, we were playing squash, we were talking about the idea of allotments and the issues around allotments and access to them. We wanted to get one in Lambeth, but realised it was a 28-year waiting list. And then we sort of dreamed up this Roots Allotments idea. And I said to the guys, I said, if we're doing no dig, then I have to go and speak to Charles, and I have to have him involved in some sort of way, because he has pioneered this for the last 40 years, and for him to not be involved would be a sort of travesty, from my opinion. It's like, if you set up a nature reserve, you'd want David Attenborough to launch it. Like that's what I perceive Charles as within the growing movement and the food movement. He is, I call him the no dig Don, just because he's, we all know he's a fantastic guy. We set up a website for Roots in October. Will knew that his family, they come from an agricultural background and farming background. They had farmed this 8-acre field on the outskirts of Bath. And he said, why don't we set it up there? So we set up this website. We sold 50% of the patches within, I think it was 2 months. And then we had this big realization that we actually had to do the idea, because we hadn't spoken to his parents about the field. We literally not put anything in place. So it was like Boxing Day. I sent Charles I sent him an email with a signed calendar that I'd bought from the community growing meeting. And I just said, hey, I'd really love a conversation with you. We think we're going to do this crazy project that no one's ever done before. And we'd love to come visit you and speak to you about being involved in it. So we went over to his on Boxing Day and sat around the table and basically chatted about Roots. And he really wanted to come on board as an advisor. So it all just started snowballing from there. And we opened our first site in Bath about, March. So 3-4 months after that. And he came and opened it for us. And it was just it's just been such a magical experience, just being able to bring people together and help educate them. We've all sort of lost our ancestral skills because of supermarkets and globalized food chains. And to have Charles sort of involved in everything, it's a really lovely experience for me to learn from him and spend time with him, and also for our members who we shoot bespoke educational content with Charles at Homemakers for the Roots community. So it's
Tell you what, Ed, one thing that I've just noticed is that's the longest me and Julia have ever been quiet. It is because we were mesmerised by what you're actually saying. I mean, it's just brilliant.
What is incredible is not only have you got that site, you've now got 2 more sites coming on. Is the plan to take over the whole country? And
I thought you were going to say world.
No, let's just start, like I said, start small, take over the whole country. Are you going to have sites in every city?
I would love there to be sites in every city. The project over the last 2 seasons has shown to me that the power of growing is something that can totally change and enhance people's lives. And I'd love us to be at every single city in the UK. It would be, and maybe even towns. Like, if there's appetite for us to come, then we'd love people to sign up on our website and let us know, because if we get 400 or 500 commitments or sign-ups, then we can launch a site in your town or city.
When you talk about, we call ours plots, you called yours patches. What is a patch?
I guess it's just a patch of ground, isn't it? It's a patch of ground to grow on.
And how big is it?
I'm growing on 36 square metres at the moment, and I'm finding that's enough for me to not feel overwhelmed with everything else that I've got going on. But people can grow up to 108 square metres, or you can dial it right back down. And if you're totally new and you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to commit to a big bit of land, then you can even get a 12-metre squared patch. And it is fascinating what I see people on the site do with a 12-metre squared patch, and how much food you can actually crop from such a small area if you raise things vertically. So if you're growing your squash up a trellis, if you're growing your peas, you've got your beans on a wigwam, and then you've got sort of like salad dotted around them. There is a lot you can do, and that can actually contribute a considerable amount to sort of your weekly or monthly food bill. I definitely think that you can pay back the cost of a Roots allotment with the veg that you grow on it. I 100% know that. It's a nice, accessible way to learn new skills, meet new people, and sort of rethink about what community means. Seeing people laugh, make new friends, and enjoy themselves is it's really heartwarming, because we all had such a naff experience with COVID and getting locked down, not being able to hug your grandparents, not being able to see your friends. And last year we did a survey at the end of the growing season, and our BAF members said that 93% of them felt a well-being increase from the experience of growing their own, and 60% met someone new. And it's like, when we're facing a loneliness epidemic in this country, a depression epidemic, a nutrition crisis, it's like all of these metrics really deliver on creating a happier, healthier society. And we used to have 1.3 million allotments in 1945. It also used to be on the curriculum. And now we've only got, I think it's 260,000 allotments in the country, 180,000 people on the waiting list, and growing not on the curriculum, when it's scientifically proven that kids who grow their own are twice as likely to eat their 5 a day. It's like, why are we not teaching children how to grow? Why are we not teaching them a deeper connection with their food chain? I think the power of growing is something that just needs to spread throughout the whole of the UK. So very long way of answering that question. But yeah, I would love Roots to be everywhere. I'd love more growing projects to be everywhere. I'd love the government to sort out the waiting list issues. I think it's so important. When you look at the Second World War, when we had the Dig for Victory movement, it's like, we are in a climate crisis and we're in an economical crisis. So why don't we have another Dig for Victory movement, no Dig for Victory movement? Like, let's just get growing veg.
I've never known Elaine be quiet for so long. And I just want to say,
I want to be a campaigner.
I was going to say, Elaine has put herself forward to be Minister of Allotments. And I think she would like you to be her deputy.
Oh, wow. Yes, please.
How expensive is it to take a patch?
So we start at $9.99 a month. That's for our smallest patch, which is the 12-metre squared. That includes seeds, tools, plug plants, workshops, talks and events. We offer discounts for anyone who works in the NHS, anyone who is a teacher, anyone who is a student, and anyone who's a firefighter, policeman, ambulance worker. Also, if you have income assistance or are on benefits, we will also offer discounts on that. So the cheapest you could get one of our patches with a discount is probably looking at around £7.50 a month. And that seems pretty accessible to me when you think about Netflix and Spotify costing 15 quid a month, or a gym subscription costing 20 to 40, 50 quid a month. Gyms are so expensive. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I get a workout when I'm watering by hand all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather be down the allotment site, improving my well-being and eating the product of those hours of commitment that I'm putting into it. People can get in touch if they just pop on our website, www.rootsallotments.com, or find us on social media. That's Roots Allotments. Drop us an Instagram message or email. We've got a lovely team who all love growing as well. So if I don't answer it, someone will, and we'll hopefully be able to find you a patch.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters.
So finally, let's hear the last batch of people as to why they have got an allotment.
Oh, hi, yeah, my name's Catherine. I've had the plot here since February, and it's been a journey of discovery, I would say. It probably rained for the first 3 months that I had it, and I didn't realise how high a water table could be. But it's just been, a fabulous thing for me, really. I've absolutely enjoyed digging. I think actually I've been thinking about why do I enjoy it so much, and it brings out the 3-year-old in me. That's what it is. It's like a playground for grown-ups. That is actually what I've decided, because you can't get it wrong. You can just move stuff from here, move it to there, move it back again. It's endless, really. So yeah, really enjoy it. And actually growing things, well, at the moment I'm not really growing much, but growing things is a bonus for me. It's just a really peaceful environment where I can play. Love it.
Hello, my name's Ray. I've got a lovely allotment with my wife Kathleen, and the reason why I do it, I've got COPD, and it helps me a hell of a lot. I don't do a lot of digging. My wife does a lot. I just mainly do the flowers, and I absolutely love it. And my wife loves it. We come down here most days, all day. Some days, and I'll get back till 8 o'clock at night.
So I'm here in Bath with Helen, who's got an allotment. Helen, hello.
Hi.
How long have you had your allotment?
About 18 months now.
And why did you get an allotment, Helen?
I wanted to find a new hobby, and a few friends of mine were into gardening, and I thought I'd give it a go.
And what have you found the hardest about having an allotment?
I think time. Time has been the hardest thing, because I have a family. I have 4 daughters, so finding time has been difficult. The first year was okay, and then we decided to get a dog, and then it was very difficult time-wise to carry on going up there and tending to my crops. So yes, time is the hardest thing for me.
My name's Becky, and we got an allotment because me and my boyfriend had met about 6 months previously, and I had my garden where I grew my stuff, and we thought it would be nice if we had actually a space for the both of us to grow stuff in. So that's it essentially. And we like growing our own stuff because we're cheapskates, and it's so much fun, and I really like watching things grow.
Thank you to the Green Deco for sponsoring this episode of the Plotcast, and to Bethany for telling us about her research, and to Ed for telling us about the allotments in Bath. If you'd like to know more about working with us, are you mad? Or if you want to sponsor us, why not drop us an email? naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
And what's coming up next time?
Leeks.
What? Oh, yeah. And in this weather, don't we know about them? But it's fair to say that we've got plenty of them, Julia, and we're going to revisit them and see how they're getting on. And I've seen how they're getting on, but we'll talk about it then. And we'll have a chat with Andy Woodhouse, and he's from the Green Deco. So off to do some weeding. Well, I don't know about that because it's still pouring down. But perhaps we'll go and get some flowers.
You said not to pick the flowers in the rain.
Well, I know, but what I say and what I do.
Just go and get the biscuit and have a cup of tea.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by the Green Deco, is an Amberland Media production.